On Beyond the Headlines. Tonight on the show, the political development in Kano has now become official. Governor Abba Yusuf has formally rejoined the All Progressives Congress APC, declaring his return at the Coronation Hall of the Kano Government House just moments ago. The announcement was made in the presence of top national and state power brokers, including former APC National Chairman and former Kano Governor Dr. Abdullahi Gantuje. The Deputy President of the Senate was there, as well as the Senator representing Kano South, the Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, alongside other key dignitaries. The governor says his decision is firmly anchored on the need to be more close with the federal government under the leadership of President Tinubu and work with them effectively, seeking Kano's full return to the ruling party. Recall that on 23rd January, Governor Yusuf resigned from the new National People's Party, citing deep internal divisions, a move that stripped the NNPP of its only elected governor nationwide. That date has since been declared Betrayal Day by his longtime political benefactor, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, who insists the governor handed over a hard-fought mandate to political rivals after decades of loyalty to the Kwankwasia movement. The defection has now triggered massive political realignments. We're told that all the 44 local government chairmen are with the governor, and some 22 members of the Kano State House of Assembly reportedly moved with him. We're also hearing of resignations from the Kwankwaso-aligned cabinet members, including his son, who's the Commissioner for Youth and Sport, who reportedly also resigned from the cabinet today. So is this a strategic realignment for governance as well as access to federal power, or is it the ultimate betrayal of political trust? What becomes of the Kwankwasia movement now? Its loyalists still in government and, of course, political developments in Kano ahead of the election in 2027. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mustapha Mohammed, joins me live, as well as Dr. Agbo Major, who is a chieftain of the NNPP. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the program this evening. Let me begin with CPS. They say there are no permanent enemies in politics. Governor Yusuf is now uniting with the same people he fought both at the ballot and in the court in 2023. What really forced him to make peace with his political enemies? Mr. Mohammed.
Yes, initially, if you could remember vividly the time that the governor signed in the letter for his withdrawal of his membership from the NNPP, he stated that clearly that there has been an intra-party wranglings in the NNPP, and then we're heading to 2027 general elections. So somebody has to definitely look inward and decide what will be the great future for his people. Because something like that happened in Zamfara State, whereby the APC lose all the candidates, and then lose to the opposition party, because of the intra-party wranglings. So to avoid that, he decided to move out of that party and look for a better party that seems to be a prosperous, that will bring more prosperous to the state. And then not only about the general elections, but because he was quoted to have said that now he's not talking about 2027, but the people of Kano. How could the people of Kano will benefit more from the federal government, more projects into Kano that people will benefit, because it's all about the populace of Kano State.
Dr. Agbo is also on the line. I'm not sure if you guys saw eye to eye when you were with the NNPP, but let me hear from him now. You heard him say internal wranglings and divisions, main reason why Governor Yusuf has left the NNPP. Do you take is there a sense to which you take responsibility for this internal division that has now chased away the only elected governor in your party, Dr. Agbo?
Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. The truth is that I am not an NNPP chieftain. I am the chairman, the national chairman of the party. And listening to my brother, the chief press secretary, he is not completely far from the truth. It's on record that since June, precisely 26th or thereabout, 2023, just shortly after the elections, we had some issues. There was a gross abuse of the constitution of the party by the Kwankwaso-led side, and that created a lot of friction, which eventually led to a division in the leadership, a lot of disagreements. And since then, trying to resolve them, get these things resolved amicably as a family has been quite difficult. And so we had to resort to court processes, So it has been from one court to the other. Of course, it's on record as of today that there are 2 court judgments, which were delivered in favor of the Dr. Anebunan-led side, who is the founder of the party, and I am the chairman, as confirmed by the 2 court judgments, the judgment of the Abia High Court as well as that of the FCT High Court. Funny enough, they were the ones that took us to FCT High Court, trying to stop our convention as ordered by the Abia High Court. So it has been a lot of somersaults, disputes here and there, but then our worries with the governor's exit is that at the time we were beginning to get our acts together, get the issues resolved and all of that, he now decided to leave because the governor himself is aware that these 2 judgments effectively sent Kwankwaso and his cohorts away. They confirmed that these judgments confirmed the early actions taken by the NWC, which effectively removed Kwankwaso and his Kwankwasia group from the party. You recall that the governor, when Kwankwaso was expelled, the governor was actually left because he's the only elected member, the highest elected public officer on the platform of the party. And so we decided that we should let him be, but unfortunately, he has decided to go. He's afraid of the difficulties that are going on in the leadership. But then these are issues that have been resolved, like I said. All right. And so there was actually no reason for him to leave.
Dr. Major, it is hard to tell what is left of the NNPP now without Mr. Governor and the Kwankwasia movement. And that's why your critics say maybe the reason, maybe the whole essence of your work is to scatter everything in favor of the ruling party. How do you respond to that?
How would the mother of a child or the father of a child, having lost a child for 20-something years, then all of a sudden you just wake up one day and you decide to work to ensure that the child is dead and buried? No, we are the founders of the party. The party was there for 22 years before Kwankwaso and the governor and all of them came into it. So we wouldn't be the ones to destroy what we have established and built for 20-something years. So I think that whoever is taking that position is just not being fair to us because no one gives birth to a child and would want to kill the child. So there is nothing. Rather, we have been the ones trying to ensure that these matters are amicably settled. Disputes are part of the integral working of every political party. Any party that is crisis-free is actually not a political party. That's why they always refer to politics as a game of interest. And so when interests begin to differ and clash, there is bound to be disagreement. That was exactly what came. And we tried to resolve it the family way. It was difficult. And when 2 fights and they are not able to resolve, the court is the arbiter. And so we resorted to court processes, which has long settled the matter. The 2 judgments I just mentioned long settled the dispute matter.
We'll talk more about that shortly, Dr. Major, because it's important that we discuss, okay, there was an infighting for leadership. Now that you said you now have legitimacy over leadership. Leadership over what precisely without the governor and without the Kwankwasia movement? Mr. Mohammed, let me bring you back into this conversation. Mr. Governor has now officially rejoined the APC, but many believe this is mainly a political decision to preserve his re-election bid come 2027. And that it has nothing to do whatsoever with governance, security, or economic advantages for the people of Kano. I know you have contrary opinion, and that's why I want to take you on what Senator Kwankwaso said, who has now declared January 23 Betrayal Day. He's accused your governor of handing over a hard-fought mandate to political rivals, the same people you fought in 2023, both at the polls and at the court. How does the governor morally or politically justify this move to supporters who voted NNPP on the strength of the Kwankwasia movement?
Well, honestly speaking, it is not true that the governor decided for the fate of 2027 general elections. So many things have happened, and then, like what I said earlier on, there has been intra-party wranglings that will not go well for the party and for also the government. And also, the governor is very concerned about the issue of development in Kano State, an issue of security as well. So even the meeting with the president last week, He talked about the security concern on some areas, border towns that are being, infiltrated by the bandits from the side of the region. So it's not about the politics of 2027 alone, because even the governor was quoted to have said 2 days back that now what he is after is about the Kano development. How will he bring more development to Kano State? So we believe by joining the federal government, the center, the APC, we believe more projects will come to Kano that will give more people happiness, because for people of Kano really gave him a mandate, so he has to do all the things that he could to ensure that people get more dividend of democracy for the center. And it's not about only the 2027 general election. We don't believe that it's a betrayal, because everybody has a way of understanding things. Of course, some people may say that this is a total betrayal because people voted for the governor under the platform of NNPP, and now he jumped to APC. There are so many things, the water that have been pushing under, so many things have been pushing under water. So there is need for the people to understand that this is not a total betrayal. This is not a betrayal at all, but it is for the Kano people that is in the minds of the governor.
It's hard to believe because of how long they've been together. It was even at some point a placeholder, for Senator Kwakwaso while he was with the APC between 2014 and 2018. They say that he's even the senator's in-law, and that for decades is considered him as a political benefactor. How does Governor Yusuf respond specifically to claims that he rose through Kwakwaso's political structure and abandoned his benefactor once power was secured? They say that's how the average Nigerian politician behaves. The moment they become governor, they forget those who brought them to power.
Well, honestly speaking, the governor, Alhaji Abba Yusuf, has not forgotten what the benefits he got from engineer Dr. Abi Musa Konkoso, and he still respects him as an elder statesman. And people should know that the relationship between the Kano State Governor Alhaji Abba Yusuf and the national leader of NNPP, engineer Dr. Abi Musa Konkoso, doesn't stop only on politics. It is about more than 40 years relationship. So there are several relationships between them. So I don't think this will bring a kind of a feud between them. And even last time, there was a function that the governor warned the social media handlers of the government, told them and warned them that they should not downgrade anybody from the NNPP, especially the national leader, because he respects him so much. So it is about politics, it's about realignment, it is about, margin. And, during this kind of thing, every time that elections is coming up, people, move closer to areas that they feel is good to align with them in terms of merger, in terms of coalition, in terms of joining the party. But it is not that the governor is disrespectful to the leader of the NNPP. He still respects him so much, and we are still respecting him so much.
We're due for a break now, Dr. Major, but I want to get your thoughts quickly about this. How do you explain what's happening in Kano? Do you agree that this is a political betrayal of trust that has been, given to someone who's been loyal to Kwankwaso for many years?
Since this drama started unfolding, our position has always been that when we hear anyone say it's betrayal, we begin to push it to the Kwankwasia angle. If anybody is talking about betrayal, it's exclusively the situation that they have found themselves within that their movement called Kwankwasia movement. Nobody has betrayed anybody in NNPP. It's interesting to even hear the chief press secretary still referring to his one-time leader, Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, as the leader of NNPP. He has long ceased to be leader of NNPP. So if Governor Abba Yusuf has betrayed anybody as being alleged, then it is Kwankwaso and their Kwankwasia issue. But let me also tell you that we've continued to be at a loss as to why Senator Kwankwaso has continued to accuse Abba of betrayal. Kwankwaso is in a hurry to forget that he got a platform free of charge from somebody, Dr. Boniface Chukwu, who gave him a platform free to resuscitate his dying political career. What did he do to him? He betrayed him. I'm not talking about the history that is being churned out from Kano about how he has betrayed past political leaders in Kano. I'm talking of the one that directly concerns us. Why would anybody be worried? Why will he be the one crying when he started this whole issue of betrayal? He started first by betraying somebody, his benefactor, who gave him a platform free of charge and did not take anything from him, and even also gave him his own personal money as takeoff grant and all of that. So why will he be the one now crying of betrayal from the governor? We don't believe in that. The governor, I am sure that he has not betrayed the party. He has also not betrayed anybody. So if he has betrayed anybody, it has to do with the Constitution movement. So I don't subscribe to this position that the governor has betrayed. Look at the two reasons he gave. One, he talked about the internal wranglings within the leadership structure of the party, which to us is dismissible. The second reason he gave for his resignation, which is the only thing that sounds strong to us, is the fact that he needed to take the decision in the interest of the good people of Kano. And our interpretation of that is that he needed to free himself from the claws, and the jugular of those who would want to continue to dictate as to how he runs the state. And at the end of the day, the buck stops on his table. If he fails, he's the one that has failed. Nobody is going to hold
but Dr. Major, you're not sounding pained as a leader of NNPP who has just lost the only democratically elected governor. I mean, it's like losing someone precious to you. How can you still keep a smile on your face?
No, what will I do? It's beyond us. The governor has explained clearly why he decided to leave. All right. So what do? When I become God to be able to take any decision? We tried everything possible to try to stop him, but he does not believe that he is stoppable, and so he has.
Hold that thought for a moment. We're back with more on this conversation, everyone. Stay with us, don't go away. Chief Press Secretary to Governor Yusuf, Mustapha Mohammed, Factional National Chairman of the NNPP, Dr. Abba Major. Gentlemen, thank you for staying the course on the program. Senator Kwankwaso, on the contrary, insists that the Kwankwasia movement remains intact, and it's also demonstrated that we saw a massive crowd of supporters recently at his residence. But the governor now says he has 44 chairmen of local government chairmen. He has majority of lawmakers. We're hearing that 21 or 22 moved with him. If you add that to the number of APC members in the House, it probably has two-thirds majority, and also eight members of the House of Representatives. The big question right now would be, who truly control Kano's political machinery today? Let me begin with you, Mr. Mohammed. You have to agree to some extent that you can't claim complete control over the political structure given the might that the Kwankwasia movement has shown over the years, right?
Well, just to some extent, yes. To some extent, no. Let me begin by even describing, the scene of today's program, whereby thousands and thousands of supporters, converge at the Coronation Hall for this defection of the governor. This clearly indicates that massive forces come together to reunite, and then, pulling more support. That will clearly show you that the APC now is waging stronger and stronger, more than it was before. If you look at the senatorial zones of Kano State, you'll believe with me that most of the political gladiators of almost all the three senatorial zones are now in the APC. So this will show you that there are massive supporters from all angles in Kano State for APC now. So this will show you that it's really now a formidable force that could hardly be defeated. So I can clearly say that, yes, APC now is stronger and is now taking champion of all the political thing in Kano.
But Senator Kwankwaso alleged that many of those who followed Mr. Governor today were coerced into signing agreements. Can you categorically deny that? And how does the governor ensure that these current APC allies that are now surrounding him are indeed bound by shared vision rather than fear or political survival ahead of 2027?
Well, let me begin with the issue of saying that the governor is doing that to shield. Is doing that to move to thinking about the 2027 general elections. No, the governor is really concerned about the Kano people. Whatever he's doing, he decides on the fate of the Kano people because he knows that they need more projects from the center. They need more concern from the center in terms of security, in terms of job creation. You understand? There are so much youth who are not being employed. Of course, the governor has been trying in that direction in terms of giving them some skills to be staying on the independent and all that. So that is. So I believe the governor is doing right.
Dr. Major, I'm wondering what you consider the future of the NNPP in Kano, at least under your leadership. What I can see from where I stand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is an eventual merger with a party that can really win elections. What can you see? At
the center or at the level of the state?
You tell me, both at the center and at the state.
Well, our party, since its inception in 2002, has always had one form of strategic alliance or the other. You know, we kept that running for as many as 22 years before Kwankwaso and his Kwankwasia group came. You know, and you recall, if there will be no time, otherwise I would have taken you down memory lane in 2003, what we did with Kalu Idika Kalu as our presidential candidate in 2007, like that. So we've always had this form of understanding because we've always believed that when you are together, you are stronger. You know, it was when they came and we saw that, okay, let us see what would happen. We now decided that we wouldn't be involved in any form of alliance for the 2023 general election. But then what happened? The result of the 2023 general election hasn't been too good for a party that must be seen as having national spread. We cannot be in one state and then boldly beat our chest anywhere to say that we are a strong political party. So our desires has always been how to spread outside Kano. So if Kano had remained intact the way it turned out to be in 2023, we would have been consolidating on that to ensure that we're able to find our presence across the other zones. Unfortunately, they have turned it into a theater of war.
What about at the state level, Dr. Major? Who are you likely to support ahead of 2027?
Well, the candidates haven't been thrown up until after the primary elections, when candidates emerge, because one of the things that attracts votes is the quality of the candidates as well as the manifestos of the party. The interplay of the two is what attracts votes to a political party in every election. So until we have the candidates, thrown up after the conclusion of primary elections, we'll now be able to decide on who to support and who not to support.
Gentlemen, we have to go now. Mr. Mohammed, help me with some clarity here. Precisely, how many members of the House of Assembly are now with the APC?
We have 32 because already there are 10 members of APC and now 22 members of the NNPP decamp to APC. Okay, and then for the local government, it's all 44 local government chairmen.
Yes,
all joined it.
On paper, we have to check their hearts to know whether they are really with you or not. you need about 29 to get it to third. So if you have 32, that sounds like majority. Where does this leave? Because I'm learning that the Commissioner of Youth and Sports has just resigned, who is a son to Senator Kwankwaso. So where does all of this leave the Deputy Governor, who is also considered to be a loyalist to Senator Kwankwaso?
Yeah, it's true. He's a loyalist, but I can't speak on his behalf. I don't know what he has decided so far, but he has not been seen in public gathering of the government for some days now. But I cannot say that he didn't follow the governor at the moment, because let him speak for himself and then let him decide for his fate, to remain in the APC or to come back to stay with the NNPP.
You anchored the event. You anchored the defection event today. He wasn't there, right?
Yeah, sure.
So if he doesn't resign, can you work with him? Do you think the governor can work with him?
It depends on what is going to unfold. Right. You can stay with someone even if he is not part of your party. But if something unfolds that's going to be difficult to work with him, then I don't know what's going to happen. It's not the government to say deputy governor should go. No, I think there are some procedures, whatever is going to happen. But that is only what is going to unfold in the near future.
Whichever way, interesting days ahead. All eyes on Kano. Chief Press Secretary to the Kano State Governor, Mustapha Mohammed. Thank you so much for joining us. We understand that you had to leave the event to be on this program. I've also been speaking with Factional National Chairman of the NNPP, Dr. Agbo Major. Gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us.